storms that make people think you haven't been through anything. Because you get up out the bed every morning and you put your hair up and put your makeup on, and they don't know you put your smile on just like you did your makeup, and walked in smiling because you were going through a secret storm. Has anybody ever gone through a secret storm? See, when you're going through a visible storm, somebody will hand you an umbrella or a raft or some help or some assistance because they are aware of your suffering. But when you're going through a secret storm, there is no comfort there because nobody knows that you're dealing with a secret storm. They're jealous of the car you're driving, not knowing that it's 2 payments behind. They're envious of the position that you were promoted to, not knowing that now that you're promoted into that position, you can't even rest at night. You can't even sleep at night. You've got so much pressure, so much responsibility on you, and all of a sudden you're in a storm and nobody even knows it. And when we get in a storm, we have a tendency to wonder, where is God? Job said, I looked for him. He was there a minute ago, but now I can't find him. I looked on the right side and I couldn't find him. I looked on the left side and I perceived him not. Where is God in the storm? Because we buy into this notion that if God was with us, we would have no storm. That if God were really with us, we would be happy. That if God were really with us, everything would go smoothly. That if God were really on our side, we would have no family problems. If God were really with us, our bills would be paid. How could God be with us and us be in foreclosure? How? Job said, I can't figure it out. How could my kid die and God be with me? How could my house be on fire and God be with me? I looked for him. I looked for him. I didn't see him. I didn't see him. I looked on the right. I didn't see him. I looked behind me. I didn't. You said you had my back. I didn't see him. I looked in front of me. I thought he'd lead the way. I didn't see him. But you cannot see in a storm. That's why he told you to walk by faith and not by sight. You cannot see in a storm. Don't look for God to be sensual in your storm. He will not appeal to your senses. Your senses add to your comfort. God will not make you comfortable in your storm. But just because you are in the presence of the storm does not negate the presence of God, nor does it indicate the absence of God. In fact, if you really want to see God do his best work, get in trouble. I know you think God does his best work when you're dancing in the church and you're clapping and you're raising your hands and all of that stuff. No. I know that God visits your praise. The Bible said he inhabits the praises of Israel. I understand that God visits your praise. But if you want to know where God lives, he lives in trouble. The Bible said he is a very, very present help in the time of trouble. If you're looking for God, he's in the storm. He may not be saying anything, Peter. You may find him asleep on the boat in the bottom of the ship, but don't think that he jumped off the boat because you were in a storm. He is with you in the storm. He promised. He promised to be with you. I'm going to tell you something about the promises of God. Anytime God promises you something, get ready for trouble. I know you haven't heard it taught that way, but I'm going to rock your world this morning. Anytime God promises you something, get ready for trouble. I never promised the obvious. I never promised the obvious. You never promise the obvious. You give a promise when you know that something is going to come to make you doubt. If I write Michael a check, the check is a promise. He cannot spend it, but it is a promise that the money is behind it. Whenever God promises you something, he says you may not have it in your sensual realm right now, but I promise you. Good God. Did he promise you anything? I heard him myself. I heard him when he said, he promised me, when you pass through the water, I'll be with you. He wouldn't have said that if his presence was apparent, because you never promised the obvious. He said, but when you pass through the water, you got my word on it. I am in there with you. You may not see me. You may not feel me. You may not sense me. But I tell you what, all the while you're stroking in the water, understand you are not stroking by yourself. Don't be so aware of the storm that you lose awareness of the God in the storm. From the early church, they were physically capturing Christians, crucifying them upside down and throwing them into snake pits. And we don't see that happening today. But he's snatching us another way. He's snatching us mentally, snatching us emotionally, snatching us with pressure, snatching us with stress, and we are dying. We are being crucified while people look right at us and they cannot see the nails. Have you ever been tortured right in front of people and they didn't even know it? Nobody knows the trouble I see. Nobody knows but Jesus. That's the loneliness. Shh, nobody knows. Secret warfare. Paul said, I'm not coming. I'm not coming. I'm going to write you a letter, but I'm not coming. Because this time I am pressed above measure and beyond strength. Do you know how much courage it took for him as an apostle to tell you the apostle is suicidal? The apostle doesn't want to leave. 7 pastors that I know of committed suicide last year. See, it's hard to be everybody's hero all the time. You might not be a pastor, but in your family, in your life, amongst your kids, amongst your friends, you are the one that everybody looks to fix everything, never thinking for one moment that your hero is human. That your hero, I'm preaching to somebody, I don't know, pray with me a minute, that your hero, are there any human heroes in here? Is there anybody in here that gets sick and tired of always being on duty? I'm going to tell you how bad it is. The man that we call Legion in the Bible, who was cutting himself in the tomb, whatever demonic influence was attacking him, it was so strong, but I respect the man. I know he cut himself. I know he stripped himself naked. I know he dwelt amongst dead people. I know he was kind of weird and kind of freaky, but I respect him because when Jesus cast the demons out and it went into a herd of swine, a whole herd couldn't handle what this man was dealing with on the inside. The entire herd ran into the water and killed himself, at least he was still here. He was under pressure, but he was still here. He had stripped himself naked, but he was still. Touch somebody and say, I'm still here. Pressure comes when there is no release. When things have more ways to get in than they have ways to get out, it creates pressure. When you got more coming at you than you got more coming from you, it creates pressure. When you are feeding more than people are feeding you, it creates pressure. Oh, I'm gonna bring it right where you can get it. All you gotta do to create pressure is to block my ability to release what you're putting on me, and over time, I will build up pressure. Look at how many people you got looking to you, and then count how many you got given to you. How many people are giving as much as they are taking? And you are up under pressure. And then there is the pressure that comes from the guilt of being under pressure. The guilt of being inadequate, of not being enough for all you took on. The guilt from being tired. The guilt from being empty. The guilt of being beyond strength. In the original language, it is ek dunamis, out of power. I don't have no more. So when you are a giver, after you have given, there is a depletion that is inherent in being a giver, that you have to absorb the collateral damage of always being available to other people. Can I drop some real stuff on you this morning? So the more opulent, effusive, effective somebody is, the more empty they become. See? My Jeep, it's full of gas right now. My Jeep is full of gas right now. You know why it's full? Nobody drove it this week. The more you drive it, the emptier it gets. If you've been drove hard, you're empty. And the problem with you is, you know how to work better than you know how to cry for help. And you can literally burn up around people who love you. It's not that they don't love you. They would never imagine that the apostle could be tired. Not mama. Mama could, that's just how mama is. Mama just like, you know how mama is. She just, see, when you're good at whatever you do, one of the ways you know you're good is when people take you for granted. David said, no man cared for my soul. They care for my talent. They care for my money. They care for my work ethic or whatever it is people care for you for. But do you care for my soul? Carest thou not that we perish? Carest thou not sending me all these hearts and kisses and writing your notes and writing on your fan page and following you? Carest thou not? I'm speaking for somebody who is secretly suffering and wondering, does anybody care? I want to talk to you about what is overwhelming you. I'm not talking about what you manage well. I'm talking about what you don't. I don't want to talk to you about what you win at. I want to talk to you about what you fail at. I don't want to talk to you about the areas that you overcome. I want to talk to you about the areas that overwhelm you. I can't Take another day. Write down overwhelmed and think about what overwhelms you, takes you out, rocks your world, gets on your last. He says, God, I'm out here working for you, and I am responsible for, I will be responsible for most of the New Testament writings. I have established churches everywhere you sent me. I have preached the gospel with power and clarity. Even when I was in jail, I have laid hands on dead people and seen them get out of the grave. And so I'm asking you one personal favor. I don't ask you for much. I don't bother you about many things. I didn't say nothing about being shipwrecked. I didn't say anything about being beaten. I didn't say anything about being locked up in jail. But just this one favor, just take this away. Because this overwhelms me. It's too much for me. I'm drowning in it. It gets me down. It wrecks my life. It gets me out of focus. Take it away. I want you to understand the power of this prayer. This is not somebody praying for a parking space and let things go good at work today. And no, this is praying about what overwhelms my fears. I wouldn't have brought it to you if it wasn't big. I wouldn't have brought it to you if it wasn't too much for me. Everything that I could stand, I stood it, and everything that I could take, I took it, and everything I could put up with, I put up with it. But this right here overwhelms my very soul. He says, take this away from me. What is the thing that overwhelms you? What is the thing that overwhelms, that you drown in? That's what he prayed about. 3 times. Why would Paul have to pray 3 times? He didn't have to pray 3 times to raise up the dead man who fell out the window. How is it that God works so good when you're praying about other people's problems? And, oh God, help me, Jesus. I just want to ask a question. If anybody understands the words that are coming out of my mouth, how can you be so smart about everybody else's life but your own? Why are we so wise with other people's dilemmas and such a fool with our own? How could Paul have the power and the courage to turn in cities inside out? Couldn't fix his own problem. He prayed 3 times for God to remove this. Take this curse off of me, so I can serve you like I want to serve you, so I can be who you want me to be. I could do it if you would just fix this. This overwhelms. And he says, God, I want you to take this away. I'd be better for you if I was better than me. Come next Sunday, I'll finish this. Fix this. It seems like you should want to fix this. I would be better for you if I didn't have this limitation. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? See, this text, I went to bed thinking about this. I woke up thinking about this. I couldn't get away from this. This is the text I'm supposed to preach this morning. And either it's somebody in this room or somebody over the internet, or maybe it's just for me, but somebody in this room knows what it's like to be overwhelmed by something and say, God, if you could just take this away, I'd be a better mama. I'd be a better daddy. I'd be a better husband, a better wife. I'd be a better man. This overwhelms me. who raised the dead and healed the sick and turned water into wine, went to God on behalf of his own problem, and he was overruled. So write down overruled. Objection, Your Honor. Overruled. You have the right to object, but he has the right to overrule. You have the right to complain, but he has the right to overrule. You have the right to cry, but he has the right to overrule. What do? God says no. What do you do when you've asked for a good thing? It's not like he's asking for gold to come out the water fountain. He's not praying out of carnality or selfishness. This is a good thing. What do you do when you pray for something good? God says no. You have been overruled. Great man of faith and power, you've been overruled. Praying mama, been overruled. Counseling other couples, your own house in a wreck. Overruled. You got such good advice for the guys at work. And go home and want to jump out of a window. You pray and you pray and you pray. You've been overruled. You got a loved one in the hospital, they're sick, and you prayed and you fasted and you've anointed them with oil and you quoted scriptures and you're trying to believe God. You're trying to read everybody's books and every tape that you can. Life goes out of them. You've been overruled. You said all the right things. You quoted all the scriptures. You told the nurse he's going to be healed. You told the doctor she's coming out of this. You testified to everybody. You quoted scriptures. You laid the Bible on their head. Died right in front of your face. And the enemy looks at you and says, where is your God now? You've been overruled. I came from preaching in this church wet from sweat from preaching. Climbed on top of my mother and prayed for her wet. And she still died in my arms. And God and the devil said, where is your God now? What do you do when you have been overruled? Had everybody pray for the baby, and you still had a stillborn. That's what we need direction about. That's what is happening in this text. That's what's happening to the Apostle Paul, y'all. Paul, y'all. Paul, y'all. Now, you know, if it happened to Paul, y'all, if it happened to the guy who wrote the Bible, I ought to give God a little bit of slack. We see this threefold prayer before. Only this time it wasn't Paul, y'all. It was Jesus said, hey, Dad, look, I know you sent me down here to do this, but, you know, look, let's do a revision on the contract and amend the documents to be transferred a little bit, because if it be thy will, pass this bitter cup from me. 3 times he prayed. Now, he couldn't change the Father's mind. He the Son. Now, Jesus finally threw his hands up and said, not my will, but thine be done. Paul tried to pray 3 times, and God says no. You have been overruled. And then he says, I said no, Paul, because my grace is sufficient. I know you think that your plan is sufficient. He says, but my grace is sufficient. I considered my grace before I allowed my messenger to send you this prayer. I measured them out. I wouldn't let you be attacked on this level if I didn't give you enough grace. The reason we can come in every Sunday and seat you with confidence is because the pews have been constructed to the specifications of a particular weight load that will accommodate the weight of you sitting on this pew. We wouldn't seat you on the pew if the specs did not verify that the weight load is so constructed that you can rest in the integrity of the pew that was prepared for the weight before the weight was applied to it. God said, I considered the weight load before I put the pain in your life, and I know you feel like you cannot handle it, and I know you think that you cannot take it, and I know you feel like you're going to lose your mind, and I know you feel like driving off the cliff, but I just want to tell you, I'm not going to stop it. I'm not going to take it away. I'm not going to give you what you want, but my grace is... Touch three people and say, I got grace for this. I got grace. I got grace for this moment in my life. I got grace for this situation. I got grace. I don't like it, but I got grace for it. It hurts, but I got grace for it. I'm in trouble, but I got grace for it. I may cry, but I got grace for it. I may be in trouble.
Broadcasting from Frederickstead, St. Croix, 101.7 FM.
For This is the day that the Lord hath made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord hath made. I will rejoice. I will rejoice. I will rejoice and be glad in it. I will rejoice. I will rejoice. I will rejoice and be glad in it.
When Jesus says yes, nobody can say no. It's 101.7 FM, your gospel music station.
Jesus the Christ, oh yes, he died, but he rose again and he is on high. He took away my shame and he buried it in the grave, and now I am a victor over sin. I win, the world won't forget what Jesus did, 'cause we're living Jesus every day, Jesus every day, we're living Jesus every day, Jesus every day, on your mind, Jesus every day, on your heart, Jesus every day. So when we walk and when we talk, we must make sure we have our cross. And now we're walking the narrow way, glorifying his name, living his example every day. That way the world won't forget what Jesus did, 'cause we're living Jesus every day, Jesus every day, we're living Jesus every day, Jesus every day, on your mind, Jesus every day, on your heart, Jesus every day. And I'm living for my Jesus, said I'm living for my Jesus every day.
gospel exposure. WGEM 101.7 FM.
Well, it seemed like forever. Nights of confusion. It's been so long. Your ship has lost anchor. Now the storm got you drifting. Your night's almost over. And ride out your storm. Oh, ride out your storm. God's in there with you. You may not feel you're not alone. You're hurting now, but your morning is coming. Hold on to Jesus and ride out your storm. Just remember God's promise. He said, I'll never leave you. Though the waters get raging, it will do you no harm. Don't give up the battle, for the answer is coming. Just hold on to Jesus and ride out your storm. Oh, ride out your storm. God is in there with you. You may not feel him, but you're never alone. Oh, you're hurting now, but your morning is coming. Hold on to Jesus and ride out your storm. Oh, ride out your storm. God's right in there with you. You may not feel him, but you're never alone. You're hurting now, but your morning is coming. Hold on to Jesus and ride out your storm. Ride out your storm. Ride out your storm. God's in there with you. He's right there with you. You may not see him, but you're never alone. Oh, you're hurting now, but your morning is coming. Oh, yes it is. Hold on to Jesus and ride out your storm. He said, I'll never ever leave you. No, 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 no. And ride out your storm. Don't you know he's right in there with you?
broadcasting from Frederiksted, St. Croix, 101.7 FM.
I'm going up, up, up. You got it right, I'ma rise. Don't you see me going up, up, up. Yeah, I'ma grind. I've been running down my dreams, going up, up, up. Cause when you started at the bottom, only way to go is up, up, up. Going up, up, up. You know how I be. All work, no sleep. Man, I forgot to eat. Yeah, yeah. Just doing what I gotta do for the people who believe in me. Though the road gets hard and the fall looks steep. Yeah. See Martin Luther King and the only one said he got a dream. Yeah. Every day I go to work, but I can't no more. Cause I feel like a slave and I know that I'm worth much more. But they don't understand it. No, they don't understand me. No, they don't understand it. No, they don't understand. See, I'm going up, up, up. You got it right, I'ma rise. Don't you see me going up, up, up. Yeah, I'ma grind. I've been running down my dreams, going up, up, up. Cause when you started at the bottom, only way to go is up, up, up. Going up, up, up. Yeah, I'm going up, still growing up. Things were looking down, I was still looking up. I recorded many nights sleeping in my truck. I never told my mama cause I wasn't giving up. I wasn't laying up, I had to maintain. I'd rather knuckle up than cry and complain. Or you can live it up, cause things is gon' change. Some days it's gon' rain, but then it's gon' spring. Or you can build it up like a palace if you wanna. Rather you be on than be singing that you want one. Do the unexpected and accept if it's the wrong one. Gotta take a chance then to never say you own one. But they don't understand it. No, they don't understand me. No, they don't understand it. No, they don't understand. See, I'm going up, up, up. You got it right, I'ma rise. Don't you see me going up, up, up. Yeah, I'ma grind. I've been running down my dreams, going up, up, up. Cause when you started at the bottom, only way to go is up, up, up. I'm going up, up, up. I'm going up.
When it's me, I keep it. It is happening again. You're not gonna take away all my pain. Though I have to say I love you. Hey, it is happening again. You're not gonna take away all my pain. Though I got to say I love you. Telling you jumping up to the ceiling. What a wonderful feeling. Got you off my back. Always defend me when I'm under attack. Telling you jumping up to the ceiling. What a wonderful feeling. Got you off my back. Always defend me when I'm under attack. Na 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 na. You never leave me hungry, you never leave me thirsty. You always with me in my time of struggle. You never leave me weary, you never leave me lonely. Always guide and protect me. Hey, you never leave me desolated and afflicted, Father. Cause in the desert storm, you were my ray. Yeah, so when they walk in the darkness and they come on me with the madness, you shall know that you I can sit you on the madness. I'm jumping up to the ceiling. What a wonderful feeling. Got you off my back. Always defend me when I'm under attack. Telling you jumping up to the ceiling. What a wonderful feeling. Got you off my back. Always defend me when I'm under attack. It is happening again. You're not gonna take away all my pain.
gospel exposure. WGEM 101.7 FM.
Sometimes the tears can't stop when the big bad now roll. But I want you to know the Father is in control. You might be oh so dumb, feel like you can't get up. But I want you to know the Father is in control. In control, in control, in control, in control, oh Lord. In control. In control, is in control. I'm tired of the crying, fed up of the pain, sick of falling in the same hole again and again. I got to keep on walking in my victory. I know who I am in Jesus, devil, you can't touch me. I am a friend of God, he calls me friend. He's one that sticketh closer than a brother, straight to the end. Sometimes the tears can't stop when the big bad now roll. But I want you to know the Father is in control. You might be oh so dumb, feel like you can't get up. But I want you to know the Father is in control. In control. In control, in control, is in control, oh Lord. In control, in control, in control, is in control. In control, my God is in control. In control, my Daddy is in control. In control, my God is in control. In control, my God is in control. 'Cause I am a friend of God, he calls me friend. He's one that seeketh closer than a brother, straight to the end. Sometimes the tears can't stop when the big bad now roll. But I want you to know the Father is in control. You might be oh so dumb, feel like you can't get up. But I want you to know the Father is in control. Oh Lord, in control, in control, in control, is in control. Oh Tata, in control, in control, in control, is in control. Sometimes the tears can't stop when the big ball now roll. But I want you to know Jesus is in control. Sometimes the tears can't stop and when the ball now roll. But I want you to know he's in control. 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 He's in control of your life. Control of your purpose. Control. In control. Aye.
We are a chosen generation, called for to show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me, and I know who I am. We are a chosen generation. We are a chosen generation, called for to show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me, and I
When Jesus says yes, nobody can say no. It's 101.7 FM, your gospel music station.
Tonight, we're going down by the riverside, and we're gonna dash through every problem now we life. If you're having problems, my friend, step right in. God Almighty power, moving in this hour. No longer stand on dry land. If you're having problems, my friend, step right in. All right then, where your burdens, dash you it. Where your problems, dash you it. Where the grass is, dash you it. Take a dip in the water and make it wash you it. Where the stress then, dash you it. Suicide thoughts, dash you it. Hate in your heart, dash you it. Put your one in the air from a God, you are having problems, my friend. Step right in. God Almighty power, moving in this hour. No longer stand on dry land. If you're having problems, my friend, step right in. Ready again, woman problem, dash you it. Man problem, dash you it. Where the gun them, dash you it. Dash in the water and make it wash you it. Wickedness, dash you it. Sickness, dash you it. Who be a practice, dash you it. Get the Bible, read a psalm for your enemy. If you're having problems, my friend, step right in. God Almighty power, moving in this hour. No longer stand on dry land. If you're having problems, my friend, step right in. Oh, no, watch you now. Everybody come down on the riverside. Got a me strength and a him by me side. You know see the devil up he walk wide. Him and him followers them up he go hide. See water them, come dash you it. Poverty, come dash you it. Corruption, come dash you it. Put your one in the air from a God you was having problems, my friend. Step right in. God Almighty power, moving in this hour. No longer stand on dry land. If you're having problems, my friend, step right in. All right then, where your burdens, dash you it. Where your problems, dash you it. Where the grass is, dash you it. Dip in the water and make you wash you it. Where the stress then, dash you it. Suicide thoughts, dash you it. Hate in your heart, dash you it. From your dip in the water, the devil up you having problems, my friend, step right in. God Almighty power, moving in this hour. No longer stand on dry land. If you're having problems, my friend, step right in. Ready again, woman problem, dash you it. Man problem, dash you it. Where the gun them, dash you it. Dip in the water and make you wash you it. Wickedness, dash you it. Sickness, dash you it. Who be a practice, dash you it. Get a Bible, read a psalm for your enemy. If you're having problems, my friend, step right in. God Almighty power, moving in this hour. No longer stand on dry land. If you're having problems, my friend, step right in. If you're having problems, my friend, step right in. God Almighty power, moving in this hour. No longer stand on dry land. If you're having problems, my friend, step right in. If you're having problems, my friend, step right in. God Almighty power, moving in this hour.
Pour a blessing over me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep it flowing, flowing, flowing. Just keep it flowing, flowing, flowing. Blessing after blessing, and nothing can hold it back. What is for me? Oh, yes, it will be. Me nah go make them steal my joy, steal my joy, steal my joy. A blessing for you, and a blessing for me. Blessing after blessing, and nothing can hold it back. What is for me? Oh, yes, it will be. Me nah go make them steal my joy, steal my joy, steal my joy. A blessing for you, and a blessing for me. Cause He promised to provide everything my heart desires, as long as my delight is in the Lord. So I'll bless His holy name, cause His promises remain forever. out of everything. Drink it up, drink it up. From the river of living water. Drink it up, drink it up. Never thirst again. No, this will never stop. Flow from my Father, and my vessel will be full to the sky. It's like an overflowing hill. It's blessing in abundance. Blessing after blessing, and nothing can hold it back. What is for me? Oh yes, it will be. Me now go make this steal my joy, steal my joy, steal my joy. A blessing for you and a blessing for me. Blessing after blessing, and nothing can hold it back. What is for me? Oh yes, it will be. Me now go make this steal my joy, steal my joy, steal my joy. A blessing for you and a blessing for me. Blessing after blessing. Blessing after blessing. Blessing after blessing. Blessing after blessing. After blessing. Blessing after blessing. Only the anointing. Blessing after blessing. Flowing from my head down to blessing after blessing. Feel the Spirit move. Blessing after blessing. It's the blessing of the Lord. Blessing after blessing. And nothing can hold it back. What is for me? Oh yes, it will be. Me now go make them steal my joy, steal my joy, steal my joy. A blessing for you and a blessing for me. Blessing after blessing, and nothing can hold it back. What is for me? Oh yes, it will be. Me now go make them steal my joy, steal my joy, steal my joy. A blessing for you and a blessing for me.
Broadcasting from Frederickstead, St. Croix, 101.7 FM.
Rise up, people. We're rising up, we're rising up. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. Lord, we're rising up, we're rising up. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. Children of the Lord, arise, rise up, in Jesus' name, in Jesus' name. Children of the Lord, arise. We're gonna rise up in victory. Tear down the enemy. Rise up in victory. Tear down the enemy. Rise up in victory. Tear down the enemy. Children of the Lord, arise. Every day. Children of the Lord, arise. Rise up in Jesus' name. Rise up in Jesus' name. Children of the Lord, arise. Everybody rise up. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. Children of the Lord, arise. We're gonna rise up in victory. Tear down the enemy. Rise up in victory. Tear down the enemy. Rise up in victory. Tear down the enemy. Children of the Lord, arise. Children of the Lord, arise. Clap your hands, all ye people. Shout for joy with a voice of triumph. Clap your hands, all ye people. Shout for joy unto the Lord. Clap your hands, all ye people. Shout for joy with a voice of triumph. Clap your hands, all ye people. Shout for joy unto the Lord. We're singing hallelujah. I'm singing hallelujah. You're singing hallelujah. I'm singing hallelujah. It is the power of God, my Lord, holding me up. I know, holding me up. I say, holding me up. It is the power of God, oh Lord, holding
Lord. My soul magnifies the Lord, and my spirit praise His name. Even death could not hold Him captive, even in the grave. He is Lord. Even death could not hold Him captive, even in the grave. He is Lord. Even in the grave, 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 He is Lord. Jesus is our deliverer. Jesus is our deliverer. Jesus is our deliverer, because He delivered me. Jesus is our deliverer. Jesus is our deliverer. Jesus is our deliverer, because He delivered me. How do I know He delivered? How do I know He delivered? How do I know He delivers? I know He delivered me. Jesus is our deliverer. Jesus is our deliverer. Jesus is our deliverer, because He delivered me. Jesus is our deliverer. Jesus is our deliverer. Jesus is our deliverer, because He delivered me. Because He delivered me. I know He delivered me. Because He delivered me. I know He delivered me. He's a deliverer. 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 He's a
When Jesus says yes, nobody can say no. It's 101.7 FM, your gospel music station.
Gonna be alright, yeah. Alright, 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 alright. Hey, 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 hey. Lately you've been going through, don't understand why. You feel so broken hearted and tore up inside. Trust in the Lord and He will see you through. Just hold your head up high, God is always with you. You're gonna be alright. Trust in the Lord, you're gonna be alright. Just trust in the Lord, you're gonna be alright. He will come through, you're gonna be alright. He will never leave you. The struggles in life got you so confused. Your trials in life got you feeling misused.
struggles and a reward for your faithfulness. Stand strong. Don't give up, for God is the answer to all your problems. Gonna be alright. Just trust in the Lord. Gonna be alright. Just trust in the Lord. You're gonna be alright. He will come through. You're gonna be alright. He will never leave you. Alright. Trust in the Lord. Alright. He will never leave you. Alright. Trust in the Lord. Alright. He will never leave you. Stand up. Yeah, 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 yeah. You're gonna be alright. Yeah. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Be alright. Yeah. Come on, come on, come on, come on. You're gonna be alright. Yeah. Get up, get up, get up, get up. You're gonna be alright. Yeah. Hey, 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 hey. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Get up, get up, get up, get up. You're gonna be alright. Yeah.
Broadcasting from Frederickstead, St. Croix, 101.7 FM.
Ooh, somebody